بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We're going to be looking at the introduction or the المقدمات to النحو إن شاء الله تعالى. After this, inshallah, we're going to look into the musannif or the author of the kitab or of the book, Muhammad, his name is Muhammad bin Dawood as-Sinhaji, which was more known as al-Ma'ruf bi Ibn Ajrum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. We'll go into his short history, inshallah, or his short tarikh or biography after the muqaddimah of Nahu. What is Nahu? Etc. inshallah. The first thing is you want to ask yourself is, what is Nahu? What does Nahu mean? You know, you hear someone, I'm studying Nahu, I'm studying Ajrumiyya, which is Nahu. Inshallah ta'ala, we want to make the distinction between Nahu, okay, and Ajrumiyya, inshallah, and how all these things fall into their jigsaw, inshallah ta'ala. We're also going to be looking at what Nahw's place is in the Arabic language. Okay, so Nahw has a very important place in the Arabic language. What is that place, that mansab that Nahw holds in the Arabic language? And also, what are the benefits of a Nahw? Okay, because you hear people studying Nahw here and there. You say, oh, Nahw. What are the thamarat? What are the benefits of studying a Nahw? Which is many benefits, inshallah ta'ala, which we will come to see. And also, we're going to be looking at what is the origin of a Nahw and who was the first person to invent it, or who was the first person to create a structured qaida or structured grammar for the Nahw. We're going to be looking at some form of history in that sense, inshallah ta'ala, as well. And once we've looked at this, we have a better idea of what a Nahw is, when you hear al-Ajrumiyya, etc. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll then begin our Nahw course. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Now, we're going to look at what the word Nahw mean. What does Nahw mean? It's a very good question, and it's something that someone might ask you when you say, I've studied Nahw, I know what Nahw is. Something we're going to tackle right now, inshallah ta'ala. So, Nahw, it has several different meanings in Arabic language. One of the mu'jizat, one of the the beautiful things about the Arabic language is you have one word and it has like 20 several different meanings. One example is daraba, for example. Daraba has like at least 20 meanings. Okay. Likewise, the word Nahw has several different meanings in the Arabic language. One examples or a few examples of that include al-jiha. In other words, directions. So al-jiha or al-jihatu means directions. Okay, that's one of the meanings of the word an-nahu. One example of that would be if someone says to you, dhahabtu nahu Muhammad. Dhahabtu nahu Muhammad, which means I went towards Muhammad. So in this case here, in this context, the word nahu has been used or means direction, okay, or toward. So dhahabtu nahu Muhammad means I went towards Muhammad. In this context, the word nahu means toward or direction. That's one of the meanings. Another meaning that nahu will take is ashibhu wal mithl. So for example, and that basically means similarity and example. So ashibhu wal mithl, okay, so similarity and example is another meaning that the word nahu might take. So you might have, for example, Muhammadun nahu Ali. Muhammadun nahu Ali, which basically means Muhammad looks like Ali, or Muhammad, is like Ali. Similar sort of meanings. Now, in this context, before it took the meaning towards or direction. Now it's taken the meaning similarity and example. Now we can find many different other examples for the meaning of the word Nahw, but inshallah we'll only mention these two for now, inshallah. So the word Nahw has several different meanings in the Arabic language. An-Nahw, okay, the meaning of An-Nahw according to the scholars of Istilah al-Nuhat, according to the scholars of An-Nahw, is different from the meaning which we just looked at. According to scholars of Nahw or scholars of Nuhat, it goes like this: العلم بالقواعد التي يعرف بها أحكام أواخر الكلمات العربية في حال تركيبها. We're going to go through what that basically means. We're going to break it down, inshallah ta'ala. Basically, العلم بالقواعد التي يعرف بها أحكام أواخر الكلمة is basically the rules that help you recognize the haraka. When you say the haraka, we mean the dhamma, the kasra, the fatha, or the sukun, which is on the end of the word, more specifically the last letter. So an-nahu, or the meaning of an-nahu, according to the scholars of an-nahu or an-nuhat, is basically this: rules that help you recognize the haraka, okay, that is the dhamma, kasra, fatha or sukun, which is on the end of the word, more specifically the last letter. Okay, so whether the last letter will be, or the last haraka would be fatha, for example ba, or it will be kasra, b, or it will be dhamma, bu. Okay, so النحو في اصطلاح العلماء, Nahu, according to the scholars of Nahu, the meaning of Nahu according to the scholars of Nahu is like this: rules that help you recognize the haraka, that is the word, okay, or the haraka, the sign which is on the end of the word, more specifically the last letter. So العلم بالقواعد التي يعرف بها أحكام أواخر الكلمات العربية في حال تركيبها. That is basically what Nahu is according to the scholars of Nahu. Okay, not the scholars of Lugha, which we'll come to see inshaAllah ta'ala. Okay, Istilah basically means the things that the scholars of that particular fan, or that particular sort of concept that the scholars have agreed upon. So you have al-ulama al-lugha, al-ulama al-nahu, you have al-ulama al-mustalah al-hadith, al-ulama al-usul, and you have scholars of various different applications, or various different fan, you say in Arabic. According to the scholars of al-nahu, the scholars of the nahu, the meaning of nahu is العلم بالقواعد التي يعرف بها أحكام أواخر الكلمات العربية في حال تركيبها. In other words, the rules that help you recognize the haraka, that is the dhamma, kasra, fatha or sukun, which is on the end of the word, more specifically the last letter, be it a fatha, a kasra or dhamma. Now, inshallah, we're going to look at the next thing, which was what is nahu, or Nahu's place in the Arabic language. It has a very important place in the Arabic language. What is this place? What is this mansab? Nahu's place is like this: وموضوع علم النحو الكلمات العربية من جهة البحث عن أحوالها المذكورة. And basically what this means is the Arabic words, okay, from the perspective of looking at the end of the word. That is the place of Nahu in the Arabic language. There are other things that deal, or other sciences that deal with the beginning and the middle of the word. All we're looking at right now is the end of the word. Okay, and that is what Nahu deals with. So, Nahu, or Nahu's place in Arabic language, is al-kalimat al-Arabiyyah, the words of the Arabic language, min jihati al-bahthi an ahwaliha al-madhkura. Arabic words from the perspective of looking at the end of the word. That is the place of Nahu in the Arabic language. And what are the benefits of Nahu? It's very important right here. The benefits of studying Nahu is very important. One might say, well, you know, it's nothing to do with Sharia, it's nothing to do with halal or haram. But I mean, what are the benefits? One might ask that. And it is very important, the study of Nahu. Now, one of the important benefits is صيانة اللسان عن الخطأ في كلام العربي. Yani to correct or to prevent the Arabic speaker from incorrect speech. That's the first one right here. Okay, so صيانة اللسان عن الخطأ في كلام العربي, to prevent the Arabic speaker from incorrect speech. You might say something, or you intend to say something, but you actually said something else just because the way you said it, or the kasra, or because you made the letter fatha where you should have made the kasra, changes the meaning. Okay, that is how, subhanAllah, how beautiful this language is. Now, one of the first things is صيانة اللسان عن الخطأ في الكلام العربي, to prevent the Arabic speaker from incorrect speech. That's the first one. The second one is وفهم القرآن الكريم والحديث النبوي فهما صحيحا, to understand the Quran and the Sunnah correctly. Very important. Inshallah ta'ala, which we'll come to see an example in the Quran, inshallah ta'ala, whereby the just changing the a word, Arabic word, from dhamma to fatha, or should I say from fatha to dhamma, okay, changes the meaning completely, upside down, okay? And it's something that falls into aqidah, which we'll see inshallah ta'ala. So the other benefit, okay, amongst the many benefits, okay, just two important benefits here. One, to prevent the Arabic speaker from incorrect speech, and secondly, to understand the Quran and the Sunnah correctly. And finally, we're going to look at what is the origin of an-Nahu, and who was the first person to invent an-Nahu, who was the first, who was the wadi', who's the one that instigated an-Nahu. And it says in التحفة السنية والمشهور أن أول واضع لعلم النحو هو أبو الأسود الدولي بأمر أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه. So I'm going to say that again. والمشهور أن أول واضع لعلم النحو هو أبو الأسود الدولي بأمر أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله تعالى عنه. Now, the first person to instigate the Arabic grammar was Abu Aswad ad-Duwali on the order of Ali bin Abi Talib. And it basically means, it was very famous that the first person who was the instigator, who started the structure of the Arabic grammar, was Abu Aswad ad-Duwali on the order of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali bin Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. He was the first person to instigate it, and he, mashallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from him, started the Nahu and the structured understanding of Nahu. Now, if you the time of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, if you to say what is al-maf'ul, maf'ul bihi, if you say what is fa'il, what is the fi'l, I mean, they won't understand this, because they spoke correct language. They spoke the Arabic as it was, mashallah. But when Islam, went to far lands, and people who non-Arabs started speaking the Arabic language, that's when the mistakes and the correct way of speaking crept into the language. And that's why it was important to then lay down a grammatical qawa'id rules for speaking, and making sure that the speech is correctly said, and making sure that the Quran and the Sunnah are understood correctly.